In 2095, a massive stone pyramid appears out of thin air and hovers over New York City. Horus, an ancient Egyptian sun god with a falcon head and a large breast, is imprisoned within it. He has been charged with the crime of rebellion and has been punished by fellow deities in order to end his immortality. Horus is given 7 days to return to Earth, but he decides to leave his legacy behind. Horus must possess a human body and procreate with a chosen woman within 1 week to achieve his goal. At the moment, New York City is occupied by aliens, mutants, cybernetically or genetically modified humans, and people with artificial organs. Horus, on the other hand, is so particular that he cannot find a suitable human host to inhabit. Those bodies that were once possessed by Horus explode from within immediately after he departs. The inspector in charge of investigating the unusual deaths is completely clueless. Meanwhile, Horus has slaughtered 7 men and transformed into a large breast eagle to roam the city. The appearance of a pyramid has sparked widespread concern among citizens. Rumor has it that it is a corrupt senator's strategy. Meanwhile, New York's largest pharmaceutical firm is gathering special humans for some research studies. Jill is one of the hostages. She's a lovely lady with blue hair and a white face, but she has no idea where she comes from. She has no idea of who she is or where she comes from. She has the ability to cry blue tears, and her body is built differently. The doctor is particularly interested in Jill and brings her back to her own clinic. The doctor embraces Jill, hoping to gain her support for the research study. In exchange for Jill's favor, the doctor would assist her in obtaining a new identity and settling in New York. Jill accepts the offer and informs her mentor of the good news. Mentor encourages her to gradually adapt to human lives. While Horus is still looking for a suitable body, he comes across a suspended frozen prison that had fallen from the sky due to mechanical errors. Despite the fact that police officers respond quickly, they are attacked by pharmaceutical firm employees. The company removes 2 prisoners from the frozen storage, but they leave out Nikopol, who breaks his leg. As the temperature rises and the ice melts, Nikopol, who has been hibernating for 30 years, awakens from his slumber. Horus wishes his body had not been genetically modified, so Horus stalks Nikopol and transports him to safety. When the inspector arrives at the scene, he notices a piece of broken leg and realizes that 3 of his officers are missing. When he meets the senator, he throws the broken leg to him and demands that he solve the problem. Inspectors believe that Senator is the mastermind behind all of these problems. Senator's staff identifies Nikopol using the broken leg's Nana. This causes Senator great anxiety because Nikopol knows many secrets about Senator's family, including Senator's dirty play with a pharmaceutical firm. That is how Nikopol was apprehended and imprisoned. Horus, on the other hand, has taken Nikopol to a desolate subway station and revealed his true identity. Nikopol recognizes him and even recalls his legend, but pains cut Nikopol's trail of thought, and he groans in sorrow. Such an injury does not bother Horus. He shatters a metal bar and fashions a replacement for Nikopol's severed leg. Nikopol takes a few steps, but stumbles from time to time. Without supernatural power, Nikopol cannot move an inch. It is obvious that he requires Horus' assistance, so he must allow Horus to remain within him. Meanwhile, Jill moves into a hotel to receive treatment from the doctor. She starts tasting different foods and writing down her reactions. Her blue crust is changing. Senator sends his forces to capture Nikopol in order to keep him from revealing their dark secrets. Nikopol manages to avoid gunshots by spreading his wings and fleeing. Senator is determined to destroy Nikopol. So that no one would learn of his heinous actions, he seeks assistance from a pharmaceutical firm. The company immediately sends out its powerful invention, a cruel killing machine named Hunter. Horus also proceeds with his plan through Nikopol. He orders Nikopol to a bar. Despite the fact that Nikopol does not fully comprehend Horus' intentions, he hangs out in the bar according to his words. Jill appears at the same location later. She enters a hidden room in Don's astronaut gear. There she meets Mentor again, an ancient being who has freely traveled throughout the universe. This time, Mentor reveals Jill's origin. Mentor frequently guides people to different galaxies, but a group of them are teleported to the wrong location due to some unusual changes in the universe. Jill might be one of them, and she ends up being an intruder on Earth. She was discovered in the Central Park Intrusion Center 3 months prior, and the Intrusion Center serves as a portal to outer space. This is how her mentor discovers her and looks after her until now. He prepares some blue pills for Jill to help her transform and settle down on Earth. Mentor will complete his mission and leave Jill as soon as she can blend in with human lives. Knowing that her mentor will abandon her one day, Jill decides to drown her sorrows in alcohol. However, her body is resistant to alcohol. So when Nikopol comes over to strike up a conversation, she flatly rejects him with a poker face, but Horus changes her mind through his spiritual power. Jill becomes dizzy and is brought back to the hotel. On the same night, Hunter assassinates the police officer who is monitoring Nikopol and returns his memory chip to the pharmaceutical firm. Senator and the pharmaceutical firm check his memory and discover Nikopol and Jill are dating in the bar. Inspector recovers the missing data from his deceased colleague and obtains the same information. Following such a discovery, Nikopol and Jill have been added to his investigation list. When Jill wakes up the next day, she notices a few black feathers on the bed. Someone comes to knock on the door just as she is about to lose her mind. The hotel manager arrives with pharmaceutical firm servants to capture Nikopol. Nikopol vanishes into thin air, much to their dismay. They walk around, but they can't find any trace of the man, not even his stinky hormones. Jill also claims she did not see such a stinky man in the room. As a result, their surprise visit is futile, and they are forced to leave. Jill closes the door and the bathroom door appears in front of her eyes. There is no such door when the manager is present. Jill rushes into the bathroom and threatens Nikopol with revealing his identity. Horus takes all the questions, pointing the weapon at him and speaking into Nikopol's mouth. Jill attacks him, but he easily avoids it. Jill leaves the hotel following the altercation. Nikopol comes to his senses and is furious at Horus for forcing them to play the involuntary hormone game last night. He yells at Horus in the mirror. Nikopol and Horus have a chance to talk things out without Jill's presence. Horus, no matter how hard Nikopol tries, cannot understand why Nikopol would become agitated over such a trivial matter. Nikopol, in rage, refuses to assist Horus in his pursuit, but he quickly realizes that he is powerless to negotiate with Horus. He can't even walk properly without Horus. He has no way of escaping the senator's relentless pursuit. Working with Horus is the prudent thing to do right now. Jill goes to an old museum and experiences her first human sexual awakening. Hunter snatches her away while she is watching hot steaming scenes. The pharmaceutical company decides to bring Jill back. Horus, who has been following her, suddenly appears and shatters their plan. He easily wipes out everyone on the ship and returns Jill to the hotel after unleashing his superpower. Horus erases Jill's memory while she remains unconscious. Horus requests that Nikopol assist him in obtaining a child through Jill. Though Nikopol is unaware of Horus' plan, he finds Jill beautiful and appealing, and he confesses his love to her over wine. Jill, on the other hand, is terrified of his artificial leg when they are right in the middle of the hormone game. Horus uses his spiritual power to control them again after noticing her hesitation and fear. Nikopol and Jill get down and dirty again thanks to his intervention. Jill runs into Mentor again 2 minutes later in the icy cold Central Park. In the freezing snow, she expresses her feelings for Nikopol to her mentor. Mentor understands why Jill is distressed. He advises Jill not to hide her feelings from Nikopol. He clearly states that Jill does not love him, but rather trusts and relies on him. At the same time, Nikopol loses his cool in front of Horus. When he learns that Jill has left, it takes him a long time to express his displeasure with Horus' reckless actions. Horus, on the other hand, remains absent. Horus hangs Nikopol on the wall as they continue to argue. Nikopol seeks Jill's understanding as soon as he is released. They have a heartfelt conversation in the bathroom. Nikopol apologizes to Jill while kneeling in front of the bathtub, and his gentleness is rewarded. Jill apologizes and weeps blue tears. The water in the bathtub turns blue. To get Jill out of the bathtub, Nikopol dips his hand in it and dies. Finally, the two souls unite in nasty flesh and gracious spirit. When Horus learns that Jill has conceived a child, he expresses his gratitude to Nikopol. Actually, Jill has the ability to procreate with deities, which she is unaware of. Horus is able to carry on his bloodline and leave his legacy through her. Hunter has arrived at Jill's apartment via the sewer line at this point. Mentor arrives to pick up Jill, and she manages to board his car in time. Along with the inspector, the doctor pays a visit to the apartment. Then there is a fast and furious journey. When Mentor discovers Horus, he transports them to the Intrusion Center's Central Park. He administers a red pill to Jill, allowing her to completely transform into a human body. Mentor flies away from Earth after completing his mission.
You're going to right yourself.
Nikopol, on the other hand, fights and kills the Hunter with the help of Horus. When the timer runs out, the Egyptian deity removes the pyramid from the ground. Senator and Suck both want to touch it. Needless to say, Senator is fired immediately. Horus is given time to say goodbye to Nikopol after the senator's death. Horus has granted Nikopol some of his spiritual power as a token of appreciation, allowing him to move freely with his steel leg. Aside from that, he rewrites Jill's memory so that she can live her life free of burden. Finally, Horus flaps his wings away from the earth and follows the pyramid. Jill is perplexed behind him. She has no recollection of Horus. Nikopol is later apprehended by police and sentenced to prison. When he returns to Jill, she has already given birth to a large baby. Nikopol has become a well-known author. He and Jill witness the blue-haired baby boy's transformation into a large-breast eagle. Nikopol knows by heart that the fat baby is a descendant of Horus, indicating that Horus' ardent wish has finally been granted. Jill recites a poem during Nikopol's affectionate days. Nikopol picks up where she left off with the lines, "Horus sheds tears in the coffin," as if he could feel this couple's love and finally rests in peace. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.